Coming up, we're diving deep into the Polynesian Resort, my favorite place to stay on all of Disney property. We're going to talk about the food, the pools, the buildings, and where you can get the singular best resort view on all of Disney property.
This really is a great kids resort. It truly is. It's the best marriage of I want to do something that feels adult and feels for me, but also something for my kids.
Hey y'all, it's LJ here, owner and founder of Smart Moms Plan Disney and Smart Moms Travel. We are so glad you're here for another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. Now, here's your host, Allie.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. I am your host, Allie, and today I am here with what I think is the best differing opinion host lineup that we can possibly have for this topic. I am with Karla and Katie. What's up, girls?
Are you offended, Katie?
I'm a little offended, Karla. Should we be offended?
Or do you appreciate that you don't have the same opinion as I do?
No, I'm kidding.
You know what? We're in a place now where I can offend my co-host just by saying, y'all have different opinions. And now you're offended.
Yep, I'm offended.
I feel like weekly Katie has to tell me that different folks have different strokes, or what do you tell me, Katie?
Different folks for, oh God, different strokes for different folks.
And I'm actually, and because we have a group chat, and I'm always like, when we do actually agree on something, I'm like, oh, look at us, we agree on something.
Yeah.
And she's like, we don't always have to agree, Karla.
Well, I think we're going to agree on a lot today because we're talking about something that, I guess we'll get a little bit into maybe some areas where we don't agree or there are reasons we like or dislike something, but overall, we're going to be talking about the Polynesian later. Come on, what's not to love? It does not get better than the Polynesian. I just got back from the Polynesian. I really could do well by going again. Do you all think that April, May is harder than December? Because I know that we talk all the time about how December is like really, really tough, but even just the way that you all were stumbling over those folks and strokes words, I feel like my brain function is a lot slower right now because I'm just trying to get through.
I was wondering where you were going with this. Like, is what harder?
Life.
Is it harder to go to the Polynesian? I feel like it's pretty easy to go to the Polynesian anytime, but life in general, do I think April and May are harder? No, I'm like a teacher that's clearly not a teacher, but I'm in the home stretch of school getting ready to be over and really wanting school to be over. And then a week into June, I'm going to be like, take my kids back because I'm over it.
First of all, my kids are involved in travel activities and I own a travel activity. And the spring months here are the travel months for youth. I think like all youth athletics and activities at this point are turning into travel situations. And so I was just going over my calendar before we were setting up this recording because we just finished a 7-week stretch of being out of town every weekend for 7 weeks. And we're not out of town this weekend, but we have 5 birthday parties.
Oh, no.
I was like, well, what does the rest of time look like?
I'm exhausted for you.
We're not back in town solid for a weekend with nothing going on until June. It's going to be June. And right now, as we record this, it's the first week of April. So I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed by that. And I'm feeling a little out of body.
You have an exceptionally busy life, Allie. Compared to most people, you have a very busy life. I am definitely not a let's look at the calendar for weeks ahead kind of person. I'm a hey, what's going on this weekend? And it's Friday.
You don't have kids and travel activities. And to your point, you said I have an exceptionally busy schedule. I bet more smarties than not that are listening can relate to what I am doing right now.
I totally disagree.
Yeah.
I bet any actual smart mom would say 5 birthday parties in the weekend. No.
Yeah.
And you can't just say like yes to one.
Right.
Because then the other 4 are offended. So you just say no to all of them.
Yep. That's
the
answer.
You get the flu. Something came up. I don't know what came up, but you're a certain kind of mama to indulge in those types of activities.
Okay. Well, one of the birthday parties is for my own mother. She's having a milestone birthday.
Okay, well, she doesn't count.
This episode will release after her birthday, so I can say this because it's a surprise party.
Hi, Mom.
She doesn't. Yeah, hi, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's a surprise party. So by the time she's hearing this, she's already been to her party, but she doesn't know about it as we're recording.
Does your mom listen to the podcast?
Yeah, she listens. She kind of is like a binge listener. You know, she won't listen weekly, but then she'll back. Like she's gonna drive to my grandma's house this weekend, so she'll probably listen then.
Does Zan listen yet?
I don't know. Zan, if you can hear this, your hidden Mickey
Let's
is
give her a code word.
yeah. My wife, if you're listening, your hidden Mickey is lights because Karla was complaining all about how every light in the house was on before we started recording this.
So ridiculous.
Yeah. Katie, can your
Oh God.
kids, they can reach the light switches in your house and turn on every light in their
Oh,
path? Are they doing that yet?
they are, I don't know. They're not so bad about leaving lights on, but Tally especially, Tally's going to be turning 4 here very soon. And she is a little night owl and she gets out of her bed. We put them to bed and she will be up all hours of the night. We can hear her singing Let It Go at like 11:30. And so she'll put the lights back on, her TV will be like running and we're like, "Girl, what are you doing? Like everyone is asleep and exhausted and you're leaving everything
And
on and
you're
it's
like, can you just let it go, Tally? Just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. My kids do not have TVs at all, but they do have Alexas. And sometimes when I'm walking through the hall at night, I'll just hear whatever they put on to fall asleep to because they like to fall asleep to music, and it can be pretty funny sometimes.
I used to find Lennon doing like Disney trivia at like
Yeah.
11:30 at night. I'm like, girl, go to sleep.
Yeah, I walked by my son's room last night and he was dancing to Luisa's song from Encanto. What's that called?
Love
oh, I
it.
Precious.
love that.
Yeah, but he's dancing in his bed. And I was like, Alexa is leaving this room if you don't lay down. Like, you can listen to lullabies if it's going to be a dance party. But I did walk in on him doing the cha-cha slide one night. That was kind of funny. I am, like I said, I'm kind of feeling out of body right now just because I am that's the phase of mom life I'm in. I feel like a lot of times before we start an episode, we're just talking about what phase of mom life we're in, which is so relatable to so many of our listeners. And that's the one I'm in. I'm in my kids travel for activities and we're gone every weekend. And when I come back into town, I'm just constantly in a state of unpacking. Like as I was setting up to record this, my bag from the weekend was sitting on my desk. So I was having to throw stuff out of it and it's just, it's a whole thing. So I'm excited to dig in today about something I know like the back of my hand. Well, really all Disney I do, but I'm very candid all the time about the Polynesian Resort. We've done a few deep dives here on the show. Today we're diving right on into the Polynesian. We're going to start after this quick break. This episode of the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast is brought to you by BabyQuip, the #1 baby gear rental service across the US, Canada, and beyond. There is nothing more difficult for my family with 3 young kiddos than when we are traveling. We're just out of rhythm without our things. We just feel out of step and our kids feel off. It can make our vacation feel so much more stressful than it needs to. With a wide range of baby and toddler equipment available, including cribs, strollers, car seats, toys, and more, BabyQuip helps give us some of that normalcy that our kids crave and we need as parents when we are away from home. When they're happy, we're happy. And by using local quality providers that are often moms, dads, and grandparents just like us and you smarties that are listening today, BabyQuip makes sure that you are working with somebody who understands the needs of your family firsthand. If you need it, they have it. All products follow strict cleanliness and safety protocols and are also insured to give you that extra peace of mind that you need to really enjoy your vacation. With convenient delivery to your location, whether it's a home, a hotel, a vacation rental, wherever you're calling, home away from home, they've got you covered. BabyQuip is available in over 1,500 cities, making it accessible. So whether you're heading to Disney World, Disneyland, or another travel destination, BabyQuip will be there for you. With their easy-to-use online platform, you don't have to stress about getting your products. Head to babyquip.com. Use code SMPOD, that's SMPOD, to get $30 off of any order of $150 or more. That's babyquip.com. Pack light, travel happy. Okay, the Polynesian. So I mentioned we've done a couple of resort deep dives before, and Smarties love them. It is really fun. We talk about how we love the resorts, and we're coming to realize that our listeners love them as well. And it's really fun to just talk about them and learn about them because it is one of the biggest decisions you make when you're going to be planning a trip to Walt Disney World. And if you're not actively planning, I feel like you have this crazy connection to the resort you stayed at. You just want to still absorb the information and the content and the pictures and the videos about wherever you did stay and you made your memories. Or maybe you're already thinking forward to the next trip and how you want to level up where you stayed or you want to experience something new. Because experiencing the different Disney resorts is part of what is special about a Disney World vacation. Agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's kind of a world renowned thing that the Disney resorts have this incredible Disney quality, right? The Disney difference. But another thing that sets Disney resorts apart are the theming, right? Like the incredible theming. Whenever you walk into the Poly, It has that thatched roof kind of situation on the main building. It looks incredibly immersive and authentic. That's part of what makes it so neat to stay in a Disney resort.
Yeah, and we're going to talk so much about the different theming and stuff, but to your point, you said immersive. And where you think immersive and you think art of animation, this is immersive in a much more calming way because it
Yeah, it
does feel
is.
like a very immersive resort, but it doesn't feel overwhelming, in my opinion. So we've talked about a couple value properties. We've done Pop Century, we've done art of animation. We did a moderate property in Caribbean Beach, and we are starting our first deluxe deep dive with the Polynesian for a few reasons. First of all, did you all know that the Polynesian was an original resort to Walt Disney World?
I actually didn't. I thought the Contemporary was, and then I saw the open date was 1971.
Yeah, I also thought the Contemporary was the only one for years. I've known now for a while that the Polynesian was actually an original property as well. But maybe that is a well-known thing, or maybe it's not. But I didn't know for a long time. Polynesian was actually there October 1st, 1971, as an original property. Obviously, it's gone through a lot of different changes and transitions. I don't know if that is the one of the reasons why it's still such a sought after property. Like, I don't know that a lot of people are thinking, "Oh, here's an original property. I want to stay there." I think a lot of different things are contributing now to why it's such a
Mhm.
popular stay. But I think it's pretty cool. And I did learn something new. This is crazy. The grand opening ceremony for the Polynesian, it was on the beach there. We're going to talk about the beach, but it was on October 24th of 1971, and that's my birthday.
It makes total sense.
I mean, it's like a lot of years before I was born, but it is October 24th. And I thought that was so exciting. I love to find those connections. And it was on that night that the very first ever electrical water parade happened. And you could see it from the beach at the Polynesian for the first time. So this resort does hold like a ton of Disney history. And have you all watched the electrical water parade? Did we watch that
You was
together?
just gonna say, like, you just messed up my joke for later because I was gonna talk about the water parade and how the 90s once it's a, technology back, and now it's not the 90s, it's the 70s, and that
Yeah.
makes total sense.
Yeah, it was very ahead of its time for the 70s. And it's the longest running parade. We just did on a recent trip, we did a fireworks cruise. So you can take one of the
Mhm.
boats out and watch the fireworks from the water. One of the coolest things, I actually booked it when I was with you guys a couple of drinks in. Remember, we were at the Enchanted Rose and I hit book. And so
Yep.
I just took that fireworks boat out, and you get to actually watch the electrical water parade from the boat when you do that. And our captain of our boat was so awesome. And he was telling us about the very first ever one. It was in 1971, and it's happened every single night since. And it's the longest running parade at Disney World. So it does, and he may have said this, I'm not sure. Maybe one of you know. I don't believe it's had any updates. I think it's the original show that it
There's
was.
no way. And by the way, P.S. Disney, France has a drone beautiful nighttime extravaganza, and we have the electrical water parade or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Like, are
I
we for
Karla's a little
real?
bit bitter.
Are we for real?
I think it has to have had
Yeah.
updates though, because aren't there some 90s
I
Disney
mean,
songs
they've
in
had
it?
to like change the light bulbs a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably like LED lights and everything now, but the theming itself or the show itself probably has not changed.
I don't know. I did the Keys to the Kingdom tour, and on that tour, you get to do a backstage walk, and you walk
Yeah.
by these boats, these barges that have like you walk by these parade floats or
Mhm.
boats or whatever you want to call them, and it looks like Christmas lights strung through cages. It's kind of what it looks like. It's like panels with Christmas lights
Yeah.
strung through, and then different ones light up on cue. Anyway, people love the electrical water parade. I'm kind of out on it. I'm not a huge fan.
What people? What people?
There are
Tell us in socials if you love the water parade. I'd love to meet you.
I would love to meet you too. And are you just clinging to the narrative of like, this is an original parade? It's so Disney
You know what?
nostalgia.
You know who I bet loves the water parade is Becky. I bet she tears up every time she sees it.
You're 100% correct. Becky's like,
Yep.
the electrical water parade, and it's so magical, and my girls love it. And she does. I know she does. Okay.
I like to hold Sean's hand on the beach of the Polynesian.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. And it originally opened with 492 rooms. And then over the years, they've added all kinds of different things, which we're going to talk about. The theming, which Katie started to touch on, is that South Seas Polynesian, Hawaiian vibe. It's island and it's lit by tiki torch. And it is, all of the buildings do kind of look like huts. right? Is that the right word for that?
I don't know what the correct word is. It's the exposed beam
Like
forms like an A
longhouses.
shape.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
longhouses. Yeah. I think the one complaint that people would say, and I have heard, is that it is a really spread out resort. This is true for most Disney resorts, is that they're not all
Mhm.
happening in one space. There are 3 resorts, not very many. I mean, I'm trying to think quickly here without researching ahead of time, but I probably know more than 5, if that, resorts that happen in one building. Most of them are happening in separated houses or huts or buildings, that
Yeah.
thematically work with what the resort is because they are housing so many people. So these are made up of 2 to 3 story longhouses spread out throughout the entire property. And the lobby is the great ceremonial house, is what they call it. So as you're walking in, it's lined with Hawaiian type flowers and water, and you can get a lei, and you open up to this massive structure. And there's a, Karla, what did you say? It's like a I feel really bad. It's like a Hawaiian
I don't
figure.
know. Don't ask me. But you know what I can say? I have recently been to Hawaii, and when Disney created this resort in 1971, they freaking nailed it
Yeah.
because the minute
Mhm.
you get out of your car, you don't even feel like you're at Disney or on Disney property.
Mhm.
You literally feel like you're in the South Pacific, Hawaiian Islands, wherever that is. But walking up towards those doors, and then that delicious smell hits you, and you have the cast members there waiting to greet you, waiting to give you your lei. That is what actually happens when you check into a resort in Hawaii, which is amazing. The complaint that the resort is so spread out, I feel like as you're walking around the resort on these lush pathways with the tiki torches and the music kind
Mhm.
of like chiming in, it's really what it's like to stay again at a resort in Hawaii. So I just feel like it's part of that immersiveness that
Mhm.
Disney did a really good job creating.
Do you guys remember the first time that we all ever met up in person was at the Poly?
Mm-hmm.
Because Allie, you
Hmm.
were staying there and then we met up with you there.
Yep.
It kind of has a special place in our heart here with the podcast as well.
Yeah.
I want to really hone in on the theming because I'm a person, I just have big energy. So whenever Allie is talking about this contrast of the energy at like Art of Animation, that's very much me. But I love the energy and the theming that is at the Polynesian. You drink it in. The moment you step in, it's like your whole body relaxes. And that's a hard thing for me to do. I love that the poly has that effect on me. Whenever I think about the poly, I think back to this time when LJ asks us as agents, she's like, what would it take for you to feel like you made it? Like, what is the moment that you would have to have where you're like, I've made it? I did what I wanted to do. And for me, that moment was I was getting my business going and I was taking a business call at the Poly. And I was like, I'm taking a business call right now at the Poly. That was my moment that I was like, I have made it because I don't know, I'm a college dropout. And so for me to have that moment where I feel like I'm on top of the world as a business person, I was like, freaking right, I made it.
Love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. When we were just there last week, I booked somebody's trip from one of the like Adirondack chairs in the beach facing Magic Kingdom. And I had one of those moments as
Yes.
well. Like, I'm here and this is what I'm doing, and this kind of feels insane.
God bless you for being able to just so easily say that word, by the way.
Yeah.
I
Wait,
always look at that word and I can never figure it out.
Adder
Adirondack?
Adirondack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I give my son 2 of those pills in the morning. Like,
Okay.
he
Oh
needs
my.
to go to the Polynesian.
Yeah, it would
Okay, I digress. Keep going.
so one of the things, let me paint a picture for you. The Polynesian, it is maybe the most sought after resort, and it is one of the pricier resorts. That is just what is true. It is among the most expensive of the properties. There are ways to budget for it, right? We're going to talk about the different room types and categories and opportunities for you to save money when you're trying to stay at the Polynesian, but it is just naturally one of the more expensive ones. When you arrive, and as you were saying, you walk in and you kind of soak it in, right? And you're immersed in this
Mhm.
amazing smell and all this beauty. It also has double doors, these opening double doors right across from one another across the lobby. And you can see straight through if you kind of look around the big, great ceremonial guy. But immediately across the lobby and through those double doors is the castle. You can see Magic Kingdom and the castle straight from the lobby at the Polynesian, directly out from the back entrance of the lobby. And it is the most I am here, I have arrived Disney resort.
Stacy, cue the angels singing. Ah.
This is the best lobby experience, right, for any Disney resort. It's big, 2-story. The monorail is in there. You can see the castle. It feels like outdoor energy, right?
I was going to say, it feels light and airy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're walking on lava rocks.
Yeah.
And the ceiling in there is just big windows. It's just all glass. So you have that natural light pouring in. You hear water trickling. Yeah. It's amazing.
It really is. And so you kind of set up your trip for perfection from the moment you get out of that, whatever transportation you took there, right? You've got your lei or we're going to talk about those other option B necklaces, but you get something for your neck and you walk through and it's so beautiful. The layout of the resort, as we've touched on, there are 11 different longhouses, and I am hopeful that one of you knows how to pronounce every single one of these because I feel like I'm going to butcher a lot of them. Katie, I'm leaning on you here because I don't trust Karla. Karla can't even say Adirondack. But there are 11 different longhouses that are going to house the rooms that you can stay in when you're staying at the Polynesian. They're each 2 to 3 stories high, so they're not very big in that sense. And Katie, you're up here.
I may butcher these too, but I'm going to try my best. Okay, so one of the areas is called Tuvalu, and then we have Fiji, followed by Aotearoa, Tonga, and then Tonga is right by the Great Ceremonial House. Yep. Following along, we have Samoa, and then Hawaii, of course, and Niue, Niue, Niue. I think that's it. Rarotonga, Tokelau, Pago Pago, and Moorea, and Bora Bora is where the bungalows are.
Each of these buildings actually are something special and different. The Tonga building and the Hawaii building house the club level rooms. So we are obviously going to talk a little bit about what that is, but that is where you're going to find those specific rooms. Obviously, Disney club level is something that a lot of our smarties are interested in. Katie, I know you've stayed club level. Karla, have you?
No.
I actually haven't either because I use DVC points a lot to stay. And as DVC members, we don't get access to club levels, which is crazy.
Club level is worth every penny. It is so good. I love walking into the club and enjoying it. They're so accommodating, right? You have your snacks and stuff that you can take. They usually have hot foods as well. Beverages are available. Like they gave me a mimosa walking in. Like it was fabulous. They just take such great care of you. I'm sitting there enjoying a mimosa and a cast member is hanging with my kids and making sure that they're in a good mood too. Club level is worth every penny.
Yeah, and those 2 buildings are going to be where you can find those rooms on this property. So if you're kind of looking, Hawaii sits towards the front and Tonga is, as Katie said, sort of connected to the Great Ceremonial House.
And I want to say the club there has this grand window that faces the castle.
It does. So the Kamehameha Club, the Kamehameha Club has like 2-story windows and they pipe in the music for Happily Ever After. And it's a direct view of Magic Kingdom. So it's a really beautiful club. Just as we said, the lobby is probably the best lobby experience at Disney World. I'd venture to say I haven't been, and obviously I haven't been in all the clubs at Disney World, quite candidly, but
I don't know. You go ahead and say it because I think you're right.
I'd venture to believe that even not being in all of them, the Kamehameha Club is probably as good as it gets. And then, as Katie said, the bungalows are these water buildings. They're their own little houses on the water off of a pier. You actually have to have like a key card entry to even access that pier walkway. And that's the Bora Bora properties. And then this is going to be very important when we talk about the different room types. Moorea, Tokelau, and Pago Pago are actually the villa part of this resort. So this resort is divided into the villas and the village. And we'll talk about that when we talk about the rooms. And then the only other thing we didn't talk about when it comes to layout is the brand new Island Tower. These little longhouses, 2 to 3 stories high that have been there for a while now, are now met with the big tower, the Island Tower over at the Polynesian, which is on the opposite end of the villas. And it is 10 stories high, I believe, 10 or 11.
At least 10, yeah.
Yeah, really tall, really beautiful, has kept intact the theming, being very South Seas and Poly. But it's really grand and really, really beautiful with its own viewing decks of Magic Kingdom. So I think one of the best things you can count on with this resort is going to be all of the different opportunities to have a theme park view of Magic Kingdom from multiple different viewing areas.
Absolutely.
Well, I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but a lot of the rooms are Moana themed. So if you have a Moana lover in your family, then you'll definitely want to check these out. And while the tower rooms are the newest room options and obviously the most updated, all the other rooms have also been updated in the last, 3 years?
Yeah, the village side of the Polynesian, which we just talked about, which is going to be the Aotearoa, Fiji, Nui, Rarotonga, Samoa, Tonga, Tuvalu, and Hawaii. Those are all going to be in the village side of the resort, and to Karla's point, have all just been renovated into really beautiful new Moana themed rooms. You have two really comfortable beds, and they're all hardwood floors. And for anybody that loves Moana, which I think is most people, you're going to get that Disney touch in your resort room. And I have people asking me all the time, we want to feel like we're at Disney, we want Disney theming. And not all of the deluxe resorts have immersive Disney theming. And this is one of the ones where you get sort of that nice balance and you do get the Moana rooms. And then if you stay in the villa side, so if you're staying in Moorea, Tokelau, or Pago Pago, you're actually going to get Lilo and Stitch themed rooms, which I don't think a lot of people realize exist. And I think maybe some people would prefer. There are some big differences between the two room types. One of the biggest, of course, being that the side that I typically stay on in the villa is actually Lilo and Stitch themed. So if you really want Moana, you have to make sure that you're staying in the village. If you want Lilo and Stitch, you have to make sure you're staying in the villas because there is a mix of both over there.
That's a good point. And as in most of the deluxe resort options at Disney, the theming is so subtle and done so well. Like opposite of Art of Animation and some of those value resorts where it's very in your face. This theming is just like a subtle curtain or hey, hey by the coffee maker or, it's just it's done so well.
I agree that that's exactly, you don't feel like you stepped into the movie Moana, but you do feel like I am in a Moana space. Is that a fair way to?
Your kids are going to be happy with it and you're not going to be overstimulated.
Right.
And I think you're going to be happy.
And some of the other deep dives for resorts that we've talked about, the room types you can pick from are usually preferred or standard with a mix of views. It's really interesting because Poly is a pretty big property. There is not such thing as booking a preferred room. It's a big resort, but it's not so big that the walk feels troublesome no matter where you are, in my opinion. Plus, it's beautiful. The walkways are gorgeous. You can see Magic Kingdom from much of the walkway. The tiki torches that we already mentioned, the walk is very lovely, actually. But what you can choose from when you're looking at the different room types at the Polynesian are going to be your views. And this is where you are either going to save or splurge. So you can book in the village, which we just talked about, where the Moana themed rooms are, resort view, water view, or theme park view. If you book a water view, you're going to see the pools, the marina where the boats leave, the Seven Seas Lagoon, one of those areas. Resort view could be anything from gardens to the monorail to the parking lot. So just be aware that if the view doesn't matter to you and you don't care to stay at the Poly and look at a parking lot, you can save quite a bit by booking a resort view. And then, of course, there is the theme park view, which is going to give you direct views of some portion of Magic Kingdom. I recently learned that theme park view doesn't necessarily mean the castle. So you're going to want to make sure that you request if that's the part you want to see. I had some friends staying theme park view. What they could see was like Big Thunder Mountain only. And so those requests are very important. Then in the island tower, you can do theme park view. This is also going to be where you find the villas. So now Polynesian has the 1 and 2 bedroom villas, which are going to be really, really amazing. My family has stayed in villas a lot. Have you all stayed there?
Yeah, I love having those large spaces, but we've shared 2-bedroom villas even on like girl trips and everything before. And having that option at the Poly in those tower suites is incredible. Not only are you staying in literally the newest buildings on Disney property, but the theming is great. The space is just so great. There's a lot to love about it.
Yeah, they have the studio rooms, which are going to be like what you find in the villas over at the regular Polynesian Resort. And those are going to be standard resort room size, pretty much, with little kitchenettes, microwaves, small refrigerator, staying in the villa is how you get some of those nice amenities.
Wait a second, though. Those little studios are the bomb because they have those 2 bathrooms. They have double
Yeah.
bathrooms, and both of the bathrooms have one of them has the shower tub, and then the other one has just a shower.
Mm-hmm.
I think that,
Mhm.
like, if you have a family of 5, that is a game changer. I don't
Yeah.
think anywhere else on property does that.
Yeah. So here's the best pro tip I have. There's one building on Disney property across any resort where you can get a central, non-obstructed Magic Kingdom theme park view central, right? Obviously at Contemporary, you can see Magic Kingdom beautifully, Grand Floridian, you can as well. But directly face to face with Magic Kingdom, a perfect skyline view, unobstructed. You can get it in one place, and that's going to be Maria, 3rd floor, ideally. Okay, so if you are staying preferred or water view in the villa side, because that's what it's labeled as, and you can make a request. You're going to want to request Maria 3rd floor. That is where I stay. We have the most beautiful unobstructed view every single time. Whereas if you get theme park view, like I just said, you do have to request to make sure that you're getting the parts of the theme park that you want to see. And sometimes the little island in the middle of the Seven Seas Lagoon causes a bit of obstruction. So it's still beautiful, it's still amazing, but that only place you can get that view I'm talking about is going to be over in Maria. And then
Tell
the
me
island.
this, Allie, because I know where Maria is located.
Mhm.
I feel like there's pros and cons to staying there. Obviously, you're naming all the pros, but being that you are so close to the ticket and transportation center with the ferries coming in, does it get loud or kind of obnoxious with the boat horns and stuff?
It's a great question. And I just stayed there and I was putting a little story on my Instagram and I walked outside and it was so loud. And then I walked back inside to kind of see and really test. And they do a good job soundproofing. So as loud as it was on my balcony, it was not even nearly that loud. But in all honesty, that party boat ferry, it's like a party boat. They're screaming and it starts at like 7:30, and you can typically hear that. It doesn't usually bother me, and I don't think it's a big enough deterrent to like stay away from that side of the resort. But yes, it's a great question. You can hear it, and you are closer to the TTC than you are the Polynesian lobby.
Yeah, I
Like
was
that's
gonna
how
say,
far.
but another pro to that would be that little walkway that you can,
Hmm.
like, if you're going to Epcot,
Hmm.
just walk right over to the TTC.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. So the 2 shower over at the villa side is really amazing because we are a family of 5. And so 2 of my kids can be showering at once. There is only one toilet, but I mean, that doesn't matter. You also get the mini fridge, the microwave, coffee maker. So I'm a big fan of all the villa options at these resorts, but the village side is where you're going to get that Moana theming, those updated rooms. They are more updated than the villa side. So lots of different options. Mostly it comes down to view that you want. That's kind of what you're paying for when it comes to the Polynesian. Another hard thing I think is that this resort doesn't always have a lot of promotional availability. So while it does qualify for a lot of resorts, sometimes it can be hard to find them available. When you do find them, it's usually a significant savings. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I want to talk transportation really fast just because we were just talking about the TTC. Karla, lay it on us. How are you getting around when you're at the Polynesian?
Well, if I'm going to the Magic Kingdom, I'm going to take the Friendship boat, and that is just right off of the marina. Yes, there is a marina. You can rent boats to go out on the Seven Seas Lagoon, which is another really cool feature of this resort. If I'm going to Epcot, like I said, I'm probably going to walk over to the TTC on the walkway, and or if I'm feeling like I need my legs to rest a little more, I'm going to take the monorail, which there is its own monorail station on the 2nd floor of the ceremonial house, and you have your own security. So if you are going to the park, amazing feature to be able to go through security right there, because the line, I guarantee, is going to be a lot shorter than when you get to the park gates. So that is a perk. And you can also just hop on the monorail and hit some of the other resorts that are on the monorail loop. Did I hit them all?
Yeah, boats,
I think you
monorail.
could technically walk to Magic Kingdom if you're into that sort of thing. God bless you.
That's going to be a 30-minute
Yeah,
walk.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
technically can. And I think that I actually believe that there are probably a lot of smarties that would choose that. On a day where I'm going to walk hundreds of thousands of steps, I'm not walking 30 minutes to Magic Kingdom, but congrats to those that are, you know.
yes.
We like to take the boat. The boat's really convenient at night. The lines are much shorter. It does share a boat station with Grand Floridian for a lot of time. It really depends on how busy it is. But the best part about this is if you are a family with young kids, A lot of times people will say, I just want my kids to have fun. I just want my kids. Well, your kids are going to love the Polynesian. What you're going to
Mhm.
love is that if you have a double stroller or even just a single stroller, you're not folding this to get on the monorail. Monorail and boats being the only options on Disney property where you don't have to fold a double stroller. And, if you walk, you don't have to fold it. So you're going to get to 2 parks without really having to fold that stroller. And to me, it's
Amazing.
almost worth the money.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will do anything to make my life easier with the stroller. And
Mhm.
this really is a great kids resort. It truly is. It's the best marriage of both. I want to do something that feels adult and feels for me, but also something for my kids. We didn't really dive in yet into pools, and
Oh, dive
that's
in.
literally the best pools on property are at the Poly.
Before we transition, I just wanted to say too, if you're not going to Epcot or Magic Kingdom and you are taking the buses to Disney Springs, Water Park, Animal Kingdom, or Hollywood Studios, there's one bus stop only at Polynesian, which if you're used to staying at a really sprawling, moderate, or value resort, you're going to have multiple bus stops. And actually, that can be very annoying. It can be really hard to be at a certain bus stop and maybe the bus is already full by the time it gets to you, or you get on the bus and you have to go to 8 more stops to fill it up. At the Polynesian, it's one bus stop, even for the island tower. So everybody from all of the longhouses and the tower are going to congregate in that one area. And if that makes you feel like it's going to be overwhelming and congested, I have never seen it
I was
overwhelming
going to
or
say, I
congested.
haven't either, surprisingly.
Yeah, one bus stop that everybody shares, and it's never seemed too busy to get on a bus to me. I've never had trouble. So I love that.
Mm.
And yeah, pools and recreation. This is a top 3 pool on Disney property. The main pool is the lava pool, and it is directly, so I painted that picture of you where you come out those double doors through the back of the lobby, and straight out from that is going to be the pool. So what that means is it also has a view of Magic Kingdom and the castle. You can literally see it
Mhm.
as you're swimming, which is just amazing. And they do that Friendship Fair show throughout the day at Magic Kingdom, and it ends with fireworks. You can see those while you're swimming. Just a little pop of magic is really nice. It has the zero entry. It has a big slide that's really fast. It's a half tube, half out slide, which is really, really fun. A big hot tub that's up on a sort of rock area. You can also see Magic
Mhm.
Kingdom from that. And it has a massive splash pad that's probably one of maybe the second best splash pad on property. And the only one I would,
I think it's the best splash pad.
yeah, the only one I would say would rival it maybe would be Port Orleans French Quarter, but it's definitely up there. Steps to run around and slides and sprayers and buckets. And I mean, it's
All
really,
the
really
little
great.
tiki people, it's so cute.
Did you mention the waterfall?
No, not yet. You go for it because my kids love that.
There's a waterfall, and then there's a little cave area underneath the waterfall. So you could either be in the water under the waterfall, or you can be sitting kind of on the back side of the water.
Yeah.
And then regardless of what you're doing out there, there are lounge chairs and there is a bomb little pool bar.
The barefoot pool bar.
Yep, that you can order drinks and food.
They come around and take your order. My favorite drink there is painkiller. It's really good.
It
it
is
is a
good.
great way to start your vacation. They have plenty of seating. You can also rent a cabana. You can only do that at a few Disney resort pools. I will say, I kind of think this is the worst cabana. It's really just a roped off section of chairs. It's not really the same vibe as what you can get, say, at like the Yacht and Beach Club pool. I don't necessarily know if it's worth it, other than there are amenities that come with renting a cabana and you get guaranteed seating and all of that. So sure, that's wonderful. But we've never had trouble finding like front row loungers for the pool. So I think it has plenty of seating.
Mhm.
I love that. There's also the Oasis Quiet Pool, which is sort of on that walk towards the villa side that I already was talking about. So just a more quiet pool. It doesn't have a lot of the amenities, but there is a bar and grill over there. And then the brand new pool is the Cove Pool, and that is also a quieter pool without all of the deluxe amenities that you would expect at the main pool, like no slider, anything like that. But it does have the brand new Moana splash pad.
That Moana splash pad is so cute.
It's cute, but I would kind of stop at cute.
Yeah.
It's for really little kids, like very little kids. It's cool to see Moana, and it is a big structure of her and her canoe and her oar, and all of that is great. But it's one of those splash pads where it's just like water pops up from the ground.
Yeah, it would really just appeal to like toddlers.
It's for babies, yeah. Which is cool if you've got a baby. I mean, go over there, the quiet pool, grab a drink. It's great. Some other recreational things that are really wonderful that you can expect when you're staying here. The hub grass. There's a hub grass here, and there's constant games, entertainment, movies going on. There is a full beach with Adirondack chairs and swings and views of Magic Kingdom. This is where they do the campfire s'mores. You can watch Happily Ever After from there, which has to be one of the best perks of this resort. I think we watched it there together, didn't we?
No, that was your
Yeah.
other friends.
Yeah. I do have so many. Well, you can watch Happily Ever After from the beach at the Polynesian. They pipe the music in. You can see Tink fly. It's a perfect view of the show. Obviously, you don't see the projections on the castle, but pretty much everything else you get from this view. So that's pretty amazing. Your kids are entertained all day long when you're staying here.
Let's talk about the adult entertainment.
Let's do it. Slide right in there.
Food and drink. So the Polynesian has so many options for food and drink. Some of them have characters like Ohana, which is an amazing restaurant that serves family style meals, both breakfast and dinner. At breakfast, they have characters. Allie's favorite, Lilo and Stitch with the open mouth.
Yeah.
At dinner, who else do they have for breakfast?
Mickey and Pluto.
Mickey and Pluto.
Mhm.
And then for dinner is this amazing Polynesian feast that is sticky ribs and peel and eat shrimp, my favorite. And there is a guy that goes around playing a ukulele. They also, now I haven't watched Happily Ever After at the beach, but I have watched it in Ohana, and they dim the lights, they pipe in the music. I would even say if that's important to you, then tell the host and wait for that window seat if you're there during the right time. It's a really nice way to start off your family's trip. Another option that I really love is the Kona Grill. If you guys have ever heard of Tonga toast, this is where you're going to get it. It's this toast filled with, is it guava, Katie? I've eaten it with you.
Yeah.
I forgot what it is, but it's filled with some sort of cream. Maybe it's banana.
think it's
And then
banana.
it has a syrup that you pour on top. Oh, Ohana has the famous noodles
The
that I know that
noodles
you love.
and the bread pudding.
And the pineapple
And
bread
the
pudding.
bread pudding. And then I'm all over the place because it's just so good there. Captain Cook's is the quick service option where you can also get noodles. You can sit inside there, or you can go out and sit kind of on the veranda area. You can also go to one of our favorite places, which is Trader Sam's Grotto. This one is kind of difficult to get into. Allie, did you have any luck on your last trip?
Yeah, we went. One of my friends got in line 90 minutes early. It's a walk up.
So what time do they open?
Yeah, they opened at 3. The walk-up list opened at 1:30. He got in line at noon. So he was in line at noon and he had some work to do. We had just gotten off a cruise. And so he just chilled in the hallway. We were on the wait list right away. And we got seated right at 3 when it opened. We had a large group of us. So if you have a large group, that's probably going to be the only way you get in. Kids are allowed in there before a certain time. I think it's like 8 p.m. or so. Make sure on your trip to check what the hour is for kids to be allowed in or out. But my kids got to go in with us because we went at 3. And it is a bar full of shenanigans and fun, right? The drinks unlock different things that happen within the lounge. And I had one that was so amazing. It had this cup, and then there were 4 little platforms
Yeah, with the cinnamon.
with cinnamon, and you would take the cinnamon, like a pinch of cinnamon in your hand, you throw it at the drink. And when you do, it sparks. My kids were just like tossing cinnamon in, and it was just sparking like crazy. It was so fun. They serve you drinks in little water floaties. You have to pretend like you're swimming. There's storms that happen. Oh, my one friend got a black pearl. Have you all heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
There's a drink called the Pearl, and it's served in this white pearl. You get to keep your cup or whatever, and it's really, really neat. I asked the bartender, occasionally you get a black pearl, but some nights they don't get any. Some nights they only get one. Some nights there are several. It's just very, very, very random. And my friend got a black pearl.
Nice.
It was so exciting. We were like freaking out. We were such nerds. It was really great.
I took Matt there for a date and we had the best time.
Yeah.
That's the shenanigans of the cast members that are serving you too. But like there are animatronics in the bar. There's animatronic octopus tentacles and stuff and tiki people. Like it is such a cool bar. And whatever you order, different things in your environment will move or will interact with you. It's so great.
Yeah. I want to say too about Captain Cook's. Karla briefly mentioned that's the quick service option where you can mobile order. That food is legit. That's my favorite resort quick service because the noodles are a full meal. They taste as good as you would get, honestly, at Ohana or Kona. They're so good. If you get the veggie ones, it's like full of
Full of veggies.
Yeah, but like a lot of them. It's like water chestnuts and big pieces of broccoli and pepper. Like it's so good. And then the Thai coconut meatballs. And actually for breakfast, you can get tonga toast from Captain Cook's as well.
Mm.
It's not just available by sit down. So that's also a huge perk.
You could also get Dole Whips.
Yeah, Dole Whip at Pineapple Lanai. It's
Yeah,
like
and
the
that's
only
right when
place
you
out of
walk out the second set of double doors, like when you see the castle, and it's just right outside of there. And then you can also go to Tambu Lounge, which is just right outside of Ohana, and it looks like the most perfect tiki bar, and you can sit up there, and I think you could even order the noodles there and sticky wings and stuff. And then there is a coffee shop, Kona Press. What is it called?
Kona Island.
Kona Island, and they have sushi at night. They have, small cakes and desserts. I think this is where you can get chocolate covered bacon.
Yeah.
I made my whole family try the chocolate covered bacon and they were very out on the bacon. It was not for them.
Every time I'm at the Poly, I have to get that bread pudding to go. You can mobile order it to go. Obviously, it's better from sitting there and eating it, but I will get it every time. It is so good.
The new Island Tower also has a new bar and grill. It's a walk-up list only. So it is a sit-down order from the menu, nice bar and grill restaurant. Doesn't take reservations, at least as of the time we're recording this, called the Wailulu Bar and Grill. They do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's awesome to have another option. You're going to find tons of Asian-inspired dishes across this resort, seafood-inspired dishes across this resort. And then for the picky eaters, they can get the standard PB&J, Mickey Waffles, mac and cheese. So you're going to really find everybody's happy. So just a quick recap of all the food. The Barefoot Pool Bar, that's going to be at the main pool. You can get legit food and drinks. They will take your order from the pool side. You don't even have to get up. Captain Cook's quick service. You can get the noodles and the tonga toast. Absolutely amazing. Kona Cafe is one of the sit-down options, requires a reservation in most cases, but sometimes you can get really lucky with the walk-up list there. It's not as popular as Ohana is. Kona Island, the coffee shop, pastry shop, get sushi. I mean, where else can you walk up at Disney and grab sushi? I think most parties would probably want to do that. The Oasis Pool Bar and Grill, Ohana, obviously one of the most sought after character meals on property. And at night, just a very popular dinner. That is such a hard reservation to snag. Pineapple Lanai, get your Dole Whip, Tambu Lounge, the bar outside of Ohana, Trader Sam's Grog Grotto, one of the best bars on Disney property, thematically, drink-wise, experience, it's got it all. And then the Wailulu Bar and Grill. Right there, is that the best resort for food?
Yeah, I would say so.
It is so good. Like there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. They're all delicious. They're all different. No matter what your needs are, how much time you have, did you make an advanced dining reservation, regardless of what you're looking for. And, one of the best parts about dining is if you're not staying at the Polynesian, you're not hanging out there and enjoying the resort like a guest is. But if you just want to experience the sense of the lobby and you have an Ohana reservation, you'll at least get to see everything that we're talking about. And maybe you do get to eat there during Happily Ever After at night. So even if you're not a resort guest, getting a dining reservation is an opportunity for you to see and experience this resort and some of what it has to offer. And then you're going to be like, oh man, I got to stay here next time. All right, we are going to take another quick break. If you're enjoying this episode, please leave us a 5-star review. Helps us and enables us to continue helping you. We love putting out this Disney content for y'all, hitting your podcast feed every Tuesday morning. Make sure you have on your automatic downloads so you never miss a new episode. We're going to take a quick break, listen to Friends Like Me, our segment where you hear from other Smart Moms travel agents out there on social media doing their thing, feeding up Disney content. And on the other side, we're going to wrap things up about the Polynesian. All right, Smarties, you have got to give our friend Mayela a follow on Instagram at @WishingAtDisney. She is a stay-at-home mom who loves to homeschool her kids and take them to Disney World. She's an annual pass holder, and she doesn't live in Florida, but still manages to go 2 to 3 times a year. She's fluent in Spanish, a mom of 2, and she's taken her kids as young as 1. She also has a kiddo with a medical condition and is super knowledgeable in military benefits and life as a spouse of a retired Marine. That's Mayela on Instagram, WishingAtDisney. It's no secret that one of my favorite types of vacation is a Disney cruise. You have to join our friends at Smart Moms Plan Disney Cruises on Facebook. This is the vacation that is your vacation as a mom. You are going to enjoy and relax and experience with your family when you are on a Disney cruise. Smart Moms Plan Disney Cruises has over 70,000 members in it. The ladies who run this group have been on every Disney cruise ship, and they have lots of experience helping families take this awesome vacation. Smart Moms Plan Disney Cruises on Facebook. All right. One thing we didn't touch on, Karla, your heart's desire is to shop everywhere you go.
Yes, it is. And I love to shop at the Polynesian because they have just such curated, fun Disney things. Right when you walk in to the ceremonial house on your left is going to be boutique-y. You can find everything in here from the kukui nut leis that we talked about briefly before. Those are the leis that never die. They're actually made from a really special tree that there's actually that tree at the Polynesian, which was shipped from Hawaii, which was like a gift from Hawaii. What do you have to say? Is this the hidden
This
Mickey?
is in my next, you're stealing my.
Okay. Well, they take the nuts from that tree, that specific tree, and they put them in a necklace and they sell them at the shop. No, it's not really from that tree, but it's just a really great souvenir. Also, upstairs is the Moana Mercantile where you can get snacks and just kind of easy grab and go, like your Mickey premium bars, stuff like that. But like you, Allie, when you go to Disney, you love to get a mug. I see you're drinking from one right now. Monorails all over it. Love it.
Yeah, I picked it specifically for today because we were doing a monorail resort.
I love it. So if you go back to Sam Grotto's, which is downstairs along in the hallway, you can actually get tiki glasses. Did you guys know that? I know, Katie, you wanted the Nautilus glass. So you can order drinks and get glasses, but I just think that that's a really fun souvenir. And they sometimes have them. I don't know if they still do this, but a year or so ago, they were doing this where every month they would feature a new glass, and they're really reasonably priced, and it's just a fun souvenir to take home.
That's a pain point for me because I still want that Nautilus glass all this time.
I'm buying you that boat.
I want to put it like in my kitchen and decorate with it.
Put a succulent in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I don't usually, we're not the family that like decorates in Disney in our house.
I am.
I know you are.
I thought you were gonna say you're not the family that drinks.
No, I was not gonna say that. But in the boutique on my last trip, I was shopping and I always just look at the kitchen section because it's kind of fun. And I actually bought two things that my wife and I both agreed that we're gonna keep them out. They have the cutest salt and pepper shaker, and it's a monorail.
Oh, cute.
And it's a tiny little glass platform, and then the front and back ends are salt and pepper shaker of a monorail. They're so stinking cute. And then I also got a Mickey bar spatula plate. It's got a bite out of it. It's really cute.
I feel like if you ever desire a Hawaiian Mickey shirt, this is going to be the place that you can find it. My husband has one.
My dad has one. We bought it for him. So, okay, I wanted to just wrap it up with some really fun facts and hidden gems about the Polynesian. I mean, I feel like we painted a good picture of why you have to stay here. You're going to have the most immersive, calming, tasty Disney experience that you can possibly have, and convenient. You're going to watch Happily Ever After from the beach, and you're going to cry just the same as you would if you're watching it from the park. And for any Smart Moms travel agents listening today, the hidden Mickey will be cry. You guys, I don't usually let my kids have their iPads. Like, definitely we're not bringing them to the parks. And we're just a pretty limited family when it comes to that. But one night on this recent trip I've been talking about, we were with a lot of friends and we wanted to go have a drink at Enchanted Rose over at Grand Floridian. We didn't want to be unfair to the kids because they'd be bored. And so we were like, you know what? You guys can take your iPads and you can just hang out on those for like an hour. We're going to have a drink and it's fine. So they had them. And on our way walking to the Grand Floridian, Happily Ever After was starting. Obviously, we're going to stop on the beach and watch that. And when I tell you that I was crying as my kids are holding their iPads up, videoing the show and narrating the show.
So cute.
It is this. I was taking so many pictures. They're like, my daughter's like, my eyes are wet. She's like crying too. And it was just the sweetest moment. Watching on the beach gives you just some more freedom, more space. You know, we're talking, they're being little influencers, you know.
How funny though is it if that was like a 50-year-old holding their iPad up taking a picture?
Well, that would be my dad. He brings that.
I was going to say somebody my age. I mean, I would get total crap from my kids. Mom, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. My dad takes his iPad everywhere everywhere. Would probably video the
So
happily
cute.
ever after with it. It's funny. But it was like my favorite moment because they were just adorable, and being in that space allowed us to have that moment. Karla, you were mentioning that tree. I actually wanted to highlight that tree. A lot of people don't realize it. It's a really large tree. It's near that hubgrass turf area, right when you walk out. I feel like those doors we keep mentioning are like a magical portal
They
doors.
are.
Like they're opening the door to all this magic that we've talked about. Seriously, that's what they feel like. It's like, oh, you walk out. But that's where this tree is. It's sort of to the left. It's near Pineapple Lanai. But it is a, how'd you say it?
Kukui.
Kukunut?
Kukui nut.
Kukui nut. It's a sign. It's like a symbol of protection and peace in Hawaii. It's super important to Hawaiian culture, and like you said, it was actually brought from Hawaii, and it's very rare for it to be in Florida. And it actually grows those kukui nuts, which I think is really, really neat. I bet most Smarties have not seen it, so take a minute and find that. Other fun facts: this resort used to have a kids club babysitting area,
Bring it
kind of like you would
back.
find
Yeah,
on
bring it back.
I actually can't believe this is not a thing anymore. It opened as the Mouseketeer Village Clubhouse, and it was like a nursery, and it was available. You could drop your kids off, and you could go to Trader Sam's. I don't even know if Trader Sam's was there at the time when it was the Mouseketeer Village House, but
Gosh, could you imagine?
now there are so many things you could do and go enjoy. Why is this not a thing? Like it's the Oceaneers Club on the Disney cruise, and my kids love it.
I don't know, but I feel like every time we mention something, Disney magically hears us and brings something back. So maybe we'll get lucky. Not that I'm putting my 13 and 14-year-old in a kids
No,
club,
but my kids would love it. It was like a main gaming area, fun space, a music room, a craft area, a theater with
Yeah.
like live entertainment, and then a Disney cartoon show. So obviously kids that have had a really overstimulating day, if you need a minute to decompress, that would be so amazing. They had it forever. It was used to be in the Tangaroa Terrace, but then it was moved and renamed a couple of times.
It's over there by the bus station.
Now
isn't
it's
it?
over there by the bus station. Yeah, and
Or
it
it
was called
was.
Lilo's Playhouse most recently. Yeah, it's not in operation any longer, but you'll pass it if you're at Disney and it says Lilo's Playhouse, and you'll be like, what is that? And I want this magical thing to come back.
Yeah. Write a letter.
Yep, write a letter. I'm gonna write a letter.
Send an email.
Here's a really crazy fun fact, and I want to know if you all knew this. The Seven Seas Lagoon, which is the body of water that the monorail resorts sit on, where Magic Kingdom is, used to be swimmable, and
Didn't know
it
that.
had a wave machine in it.
I didn't know about the wave machine.
The intention of the wave pool in front of the Polynesian in the Seven Seas Lagoon was that guests would be able to surf.
Amazing.
That was the whole vision, was that you could surf while you were staying at the Polynesian, but the wave machine caused erosion and they had to take it out.
So interesting.
Can you imagine if you could surf? I would never get in that water, but
Yeah,
can you
I
imagine?
wouldn't be getting in that water either.
Exactly.
No,
But
yeah.
can you imagine?
Don't go in the water.
Yeah, do not go in the water. PSA. But the vision was that you were going to be able to surf there. So that's kind of cool. For a long time, the Poly was the only Walt Disney World resort where you could get the Dole Whip, which we were just talking about. But now All Star Movies allegedly also offers Dole Whip.
It's true.
Right? Just
Yeah.
This
recently.
was just like 2 weeks ago. They announced that you can get a Dole Whip at All Star Movies too.
Kind of an odd choice, in my opinion. Pineapple and I was so sacred and special. All right, and then the biggest mic drop here, trivia. I think you all both know this though. What band officially broke up at the Polynesian Resort? Karla, do you know?
Nickelback.
Oh gosh.
I know it's the
The
Beatles.
Beatles. The band had already like broken up, but John Lennon actually officially signed the real paperwork that broke the Beatles up at the Polynesian. Isn't that crazy?
How could he do that? It's such a serene and beautiful
Exactly.
place.
They were staying there and he signed the paperwork at the Poly. I think that's like the craziest fact ever. And it happened on
Yeah.
December 29th of 1974, which was just a few years after the Poly opened. That's actually my daughter's birthday. So how crazy is
That's
it?
so weird.
The dedication ceremony was on my birthday. The Beatles broke up on my daughter's birthday at the Polynesian. It's no wonder we're so connected to this dang resort.
This
We
is
love it.
funny.
Yeah.
Are either of you really big Beatles fans?
Heck yeah.
I love the Beatles. I have a lounge fly that's the yellow submarine. I sometimes wear it to Epcot.
Oh, wow.
My son went through a huge Beatles phase. And when I remember like
Yeah.
growing up listening, my sister was super into it and listening to it.
My dad,
driving.
who I talk about being a Disney lover on this podcast all the time, he grew up in New York City, rode the subway to school, went to high school downtown. And actually, when the Beatles came to that very first trip to New York, when they were on that late night performance. He's told me stories about just being downtown at that time and knowing that they were there. So he has this huge connection to Beatles music and culture and has always been a music guy, worked in radio. So I kind of grew up with Beatles culture, and that's why I love it, I guess. I assume. But anyway, Polynesian, you're going to have a great stay. It's immersive, it's serene, it's beautiful, it's convenient, it's tasty. It's going to make for the most magical memories. If you can find it on a promotion, kudos to you. Otherwise, it's one of those things, save up for it because it'll be worth it in the end. When you arrive, you'll have that moment Katie was talking about, and you will feel like, oh, I have arrived.
You made it.
Good stuff.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. That is going to do it for the Smart Moms Plan Disney podcast. And until next time, we'll see you real soon. Today, I am joined by two polarizing opinions, I think. This is going to be fun.
Cut out.
That was a great start. Why are we polarizing?
You guys like different things. I think you're really different perspectives. But you can ask me that when we're recording it again. Okay.
Yeah,
exactly.
I still want to watch YouTube before I fall asleep.
As I say, yeah, we can't stream anything. We just started season 3 of The White Lotus.
Hyper!
No, don't tell me.
Oh my gosh, my desk is going down. Is it going to smash me?
Oh no.
Don't wait as long as we did for... Never mind. Need to mention the shops.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that right when we come back.
No, you can do it.
No, you can do it. I know.
How many words do you think we butchered on this one?
I think it was better than when we tried to talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
This is the worst one. The Ayatorre.
Yeah.
Ayatorrea. It looks like a word.
Ayatoroa.
No idea.
Yeah.
Ayatoroa. Woo!
Did you know that the Hawaiian alphabet only has 13 letters in it?
Where did you get your facts? This
It's
is like
true.
a zip.
From the interwebs, but when we're there, and you're like, and then we looked it up. 13 letters.
Interesting.
Ugh, now I want to go to the Polynesian.
Good stuff.